Welcome to the Sacred Knock podcast, where the divine speaks and the heart listens. There's a knock, a sacred one. You may not hear it with your ears, but your soul knows it well. I'm your host, Coach Michael Taylor, and I'm inviting you into a sacred space of spiritual awakening, divine insight, and conversations that remind you of who you really are. So, open the door and let your soul receive the wisdom it's been waiting for. Welcome to the Sacred Knock podcast. Welcome to the Sacred Knock podcast, where divine wisdom speaks and the heart listens. I'm your host, Coach Michael Taylor, and today we're diving even deeper into the sacred journey of spiritual transformation with a powerful question. What if it's time to redefine God? Because once we begin to question how we see God, the next step is to ask, are we willing to let go of the God we were taught to discover the God we now feel? You see, for generations, most of us were handed a version of God that we didn't choose. We inherited it from our parents, from our churches, from our culture, and from the institutions that claimed they had exclusive rights to God. And for many of us, that God was conditional, authoritarian, distant, and terrifying. The God we were taught to believe in may have looked more like a cosmic dictator than a divine source of love. But here's the truth. We have the right to redefine God. Not because we're arrogant, not because we're trying to make God fit into our lives, but because we're remembering that God is already within us. And we're finally ready to remove the veil of fear that's clouded our vision. So let's take this a little deeper. The word God itself has become so loaded with baggage. For some, it brings comfort. For others, it triggers pain. Some hear the word and think of hope. Others hear it and feel shame, guilt, or judgment. So, what happens when we pause and redefine it? What if God isn't a being at all? What if God is a presence, a force, an intelligence that permeates everything? What if God is not separate from us, but expressing through us? Here's how I choose to define God. To me, God is divine intelligence. God is the creative energy that brought the universe into being and is still creating, expanding, evolving, and expressing through all of life. I see God not as a person, but a presence. Not as a judge, but as joy. Not as fear, but as love itself. To me, God is the pulse behind every heartbeat, the stillness behind every breath, the inspiration behind every dream. And if you were to ask me to sum up God in one word, love. Not the fleeting emotion we often attach to that word, but the eternal, all-encompassing, infinite energy of love. That's the God I know now. That's the God I've come to trust. That's the God I commune with every day. So let me ask you, if you could let go of everything you were taught about God, what kind of God would you create space for? What kind of God do you want to believe in? A God who includes, not excludes? A God who uplifts, not punishes. A God who lives in you, not just in the sky. You see, redefining God isn't about dismissing other people's beliefs. It's about giving yourself permission to build a relationship with the divine that actually feels true to you. It's about shifting from religion to relationship, from doctrine to direct connection, from external rules to internal resonance. because I believe God is always evolving us and inviting us to evolve our understanding in return. In upcoming episodes, we'll continue to explore different expressions of this divine intelligence, from sacred text to quantum physics, from ancient wisdom to modern voices. But for now, I want to leave you with this reflection. If God is love and you are made from that love, then what does that say about you? Thank you for listening to the Sacred Knock podcast. And if this episode opened something within you, trust it. That's the sacred knock. And now the door is yours to open. So be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share this with someone else who's ready to redefine the divine. Until next time, stay open and stay sacred and stay inspired. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Sacred Knock podcast. We hope this episode has inspired you to listen more closely to the whispers of your soul. If this message moved you, why not share it with someone you love? Because you never know who's waiting to hear their own sacred knock. And if you'd like to dive deeper and download the free ebook, When God Knocks, 5 Divine Reminders to Reignite Your Soul, simply log on to www.knockknockbook.net to download your free gift today. Until next time, stay open, stay tuned in, and always remember, the divine is already within you.